In a surprising turn of events, President Donald Trump later described his recent phone chat with Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky as very good, following a stormy clash in the Oval Office not long ago. For nearly an hour, the two men sat down over the phone, Trump weaving his thoughts on his earlier discussion with Russian President Vladimir Putin and setting the stage for a pause in hostilities. The conversation painted a picture of efforts to bring both Russia and Ukraine onto the same page with their demands and needs. Could this be the calm before a new storm of change? Zelensky, on his end, recalled the call as open, honest, and full of meaningful exchanges. He expressed gratitude for the energy sparked by a meeting held on March 11th in Jeddah, which he believes has nudged the Ukrainian and American teams closer to ending the conflict. In his eyes, a lasting peace might just be possible this very year. Does hope linger in the air, or is it merely a trick of the light? This conversation marked the first time the two leaders had spoken since their explosive encounter at the Oval Office in late February, a moment filled with raised voices and bitter accusations. Back then, Trump had accused Zelensky of failing to show proper thanks for the support Kyiv had received from the United States. The memory of that heated exchange still reverberates, leaving one to wonder, can past grievances be truly set aside? Following that intense period, Secretary of State Marco Rubio and National Security Advisor Michael Waltz shared details of the call, though some parts left room for confusion. They mentioned that both leaders had agreed to a partial ceasefire against energy, even as Trump's lengthy dialogue with Putin had embraced a wider energy and infrastructure ceasefire. Zelensky himself brought up the importance of protecting civilian infrastructure, hinting that cutting strikes on power and other vital systems might pave the road to peace. And when questions arose, the White House pointed to an official readout that clearly included infrastructure. What secrets lie in these words, and can clarity be found amidst the echoes? Digging deeper into the conversation, Trump revealed he had suggested that the United States might step in to help run power plants, like the controversial Zaporizhzhia nuclear facility in southern Ukraine, using American know-how in electricity and utilities. He argued that U.S. involvement could shield such key sites, bolstering Ukrainian energy security. In a world where control over energy means control over survival, could this proposal shift the balance? Zaporizhzhia, the largest nuclear plant in Europe, remains in the hands of Russian forces, and it hasn't fed power into Ukraine's grid since its capture. Its looming presence near the front line stirs worries of a radiological mishap, especially as Russian strikes have battered much of Ukraine's essential energy framework. The specter of danger is palpable. Will this risk ever be tamed? Meanwhile, a 30-day partial ceasefire is now set in motion, with the promise that it will mark the beginning of deeper talks. The official readout from the White House highlighted a plan to kick off technical negotiations on a maritime ceasefire in the Black Sea, leading gradually toward a full and lasting peace. Every word teases a delicate dance between diplomacy and danger. Can these fragile steps lead to a real end to the fighting? Yet, not all voices sing a lullaby of hope. Zelensky pointed a stern finger at Russia, accusing it of already breaking the fragile ceasefire. He cited tragic scenes, drone strikes on a hospital in Sumy, attacks in cities across the Donetsk region, and drones darkening the skies over multiple Ukrainian areas. His words tremble with urgency. If these attacks continue, can any peace truly hold? Adding another twist to the tale, U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff announced that talks aimed at cementing a peace deal would kick off in Jeddah on Monday. He predicted that a ceasefire might be reached in just a couple of weeks, as technical teams begin ironing out every detail. With every tick of the clock, the promise of calm seems both near and far. Are we on the brink of a breakthrough, or is more waiting in the shadows? Not to be outdone, Putin's own terms for a lasting end to the conflict have been made clear. He insists that for the violence to stop for good, the United States and its allies must pull back on military support and intelligence for Ukraine. This demand has set off alarm bells among European partners, who fear that such a move might let Moscow rebuild its strength while leaving Kyiv exposed and scrambling. With conditions and counter-conditions swirling, the next chapter of this international drama is anything but certain. What will be the final move in this high-stakes game?